Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Brenda. How are you?
I'm wonderful, ma'am. How are you?
I knew I had the link, and then I was like, where is it?
Hello.
Morning, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Paul, sir.
Hello.
It isn't morning for Esther. It must be afternoon.
It is
Hey,
for
NJ.
afternoon. You are right at noon or somewhere after. We are at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Good for you. You're wide awake.
Yes, don't ask me. Well, I'm always awake, but
Okay.
not so good at night, Reka. How are you? You're in the UK, isn't it?
Yes, I'm with Paul.
Wonderful. Lucky you in nice weather in the UK.
Very cold. Today is cold.
But I
It
thought,
has to be. Today is cold.
yeah,
Can you see Paul wearing a jacket?
yeah, I'm
Yeah, zipping
surprised.
it up. The weather in the UK is bipolar at the moment. This time last week we had 30 degrees, and today we have 18. So yeah, we're getting all elements thrown at us.
Yeah, that's because of the soccer. They're also bipolar.
Yes.
Nobody has a decent match that you can predict. So I think the whole of Europe is unpredictable.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's see who we got here. So we have Sri Lanka, we have Malaysia, we have Taiwan, we have people from everywhere here. So um, I think, can everyone hear me? Because I can see a few of you don't have your microphones all muted, or you have your videos off. Who's going to make themselves visible? We got faces appearing. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning,
Shabina,
same here.
good morning. Abby, how are you?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Mika,
Hi, how are
hey.
you? Hi, nice to
Angie,
meet
how are
you.
you? Great stuff. Listen, hey, Ganzo,
Hello.
Mr. Razak, good morning, afternoon even. And Eliza, good morning, afternoon, evening.
Hi, Paul. Can you
Hey,
hear?
how are you?
Yeah, fine. This is Razak, Shardar Razak from Bangladesh.
Good morning from Bangladesh.
Yeah, good afternoon now. Yeah.
Good
We
afternoon,
are
good
good
evening
afternoon.
for you. Good afternoon.
Yeah, we are good afternoon,
But
and you are probably morning. Good morning. Okay.
oh yes, yeah, we're just 8:35 in the morning over here. So yeah, I've been up for a few hours, best part of the day. Well, listen, I'm gonna get cracking here. We've got a very good representation of people, and firstly, thank you from wherever you are around the world. Really appreciate it. It's always great to have a cosmopolitan Zoom meeting where we're all sort of saying good afternoons, good mornings, and good evenings. It's great to have that in the melting pot. So today, a bit different to last meeting. Last time we were discussing everything APDSF, purely AGM, and we're still discussing APDSF and AGM, but this time we're discussing something very special that we're looking to introduce into the AGM, and it's going to be great for a few reasons. Because number one, it's the people with Down syndrome which are going to excel and be excellent with this. They're going to get a platform to be able to do something very special that we haven't had before. We've also got an expert by way of Dr. Esther Juicer here, who has done this on many occasions. And so I'm going to give a brief introduction here of what we're looking to do, and then I'm going to hand you over to Esther, and who's going to enthuse you to another level. So basically, we've got an art exhibition as we'd outlined in the previous email, and how it's going to operate, and logistically how it'll operate, and what we'd be looking for from the self advocates is going to come from Esther now. So Esther, I'm going to hand over the microphone to you, as they say, and the floor's yours.
Well, thank you so much, Paul, for this introduction. And I know some of you, Razak, I know you for a long time. Um, and I've met maybe some of you during the AGM, I think it was 2016,
Singapore, yeah,
in Singapore, where I
right.
presented on the arts. Just a little bit about the background of me. I did my PhD on the art making of young adults with Down syndrome. These young adults were not our poster people. They were a mix, non-verbal, verbal. There was one talented person who was truly an artist, but all of them found a voice through the arts. And if we learn to read their artwork, then we have another way through which they can advocate who they are, what they want, and what they need. So in 2019, I had an exhibition in Yucatan together with Manuel Guerrero, who is a grandfather of a young boy with Down syndrome. And we collected 150 artworks from around the world. That exhibition is now online. I've analyzed it, and I will send you the link. However, Reka realized something and that about the talent, and I really have to admit and admire Reka for constantly coming up with finding ways how to extend, because emotional well-being is as important as physical health. I can only say that if we deny a voice, we are reducing emotional and social well-being, but we also deny our people to be part of a community, and our world is becoming more visual. I am so grateful for this opportunity because technically we are at a breakthrough. In my exhibition in Yucatan, I received wonderful contributions from Japan. I received from Indonesia, but they did never send me the real artwork, so we could not display them. We received amazing artworks from Razak in Bangladesh. And I will give you especially a reason why Razak's contributions were so important. Because although the artworks were drawn very traditional ways, what became visible were the voices of girls in Bangladesh. There were many girls, and what we realized is that being a girl is no longer stops a young woman in Asia for having a voice. That same, I have to say, was for India, where I saw amazing artworks. I saw that also in Indonesia. What I saw was a shift in Asia, because we have to recognize differences. How do you look at a girl, a boy? And we got their voices. We also had a particular important voice from Bangladesh, was a young boy who passed on after his submission because of dengue. His voice remains. So we have to see that the arts provide you something more. It gives a visual arts gives a tangible relationship with the people you care for so much. So when Reka came with the opportunity, I was jumping 20 feet in the air because I say, yay, after all these years, they remember me. And yes, but I also know the time has to be right. And I believe currently the time has changed. We have shifted a lot. So I'm going to share with you a slideshow on how I see in the Kuala Lumpur meeting, we can create the visual voices of our participants, and that we can bring them there and we can bring them back, and it remains tangible. So I'm going to share a very brief slideshow. I don't want to bother you too much because it's all very long. Let me see. I had it all very nice. I'm very capable of pressing the wrong slides. So forgive me for that. Hold on. I have to put the key. So I'm just going to press on one and see what happens. Yes. Can you see my slides? Paul, can you see the slides?
You can see a blank screen split in half at the moment. I can't see any slides just yet.
Okay, that
It
is
says
not...
I'm seeing your screen, but I can't see any detail yet. I'm not sure if anybody else can.
Okay, I'm trying again.
Okay, action take 2. We have success.
All right. You see, we're living in a visual world full of complexities. So, Paul, and I have to say thank you, Brenda, for all the hard work. There were meeting notes, which I just put in here, about some of the outcomes. So the artworks to be shared virtually, to keep circulating, self-advocates and artworks. Now, that was what was on the meeting notes. So I did a bit of digging. We have 20 countries, but in these countries, we have diverse perspectives, cultures, and languages. So the visual arts provide an excellent platform to actually connect, because they are without translations into words. They are translating for each and everyone into our own words. And that is the power of the arts. It also allows us to see in discussions. So from what perspective do you believe the arts are important in your country? I don't know. I have Angie, you're from Malaysia, isn't it? I think I met you last time.
Yes, I am from Malaysia.
Uh,
Maybe in Singapore we
yes, in
met.
Singapore. I know you look so familiar. So if I could ask you very briefly, how would you, as the organizer in Kuala Lumpur, see the visual arts?
Well, we do have some of our well, the alumni from my center. That would be because we only do early intervention.
Mhm.
And we do have quite a few talents who we have one particular girl. Her name is Sarah. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have some of our parents here, and she does a lot of artwork as well. Very, I would say, very modern kind. And we also have another young boy who also is able to do pretty good. He has his exhibition a few times already. So, and I think also we have some young children who are trying to go into doing art.
So there are diverse perspectives. So my
Correct.
intention is, before this whole presentation, is to get to know you better, how you view the arts, to set up something, but to also use Kuala Lumpur as a platform in which we can discuss what do we need for an aligned future? And Reka came up with this wonderful title of Visual Chronicles. Now, a chronicle is a series of, well, you focus on the journey together. You each contribute your stories. So I am really delighted to lead the Visual Chronicles of the Asia Pacific, because one thing of Asia Pacific, 60% of the people live in Asian and Pacific regions, and that may also apply to persons with Down syndrome. So we have a large population. How can the Visual Chronicles contribute to the stories of parents who started the journey, but who of their children who take over that journey? So I'm trying to look at how we can develop then something and focus on the aspirations and the individual experiences of what is important through the art. I intend to listen to each and everyone's voices before I set it out further, because I want to know what matters to you in your country. I've always done that in my own research and everything. So important is to bring the APDSF together, the members, through the arts, to see how the richness of cultures can represent a region in the world many people do not know much about. We do not know much. And this is a very important part in advocacy, I believe. And wherever I feel you want to comment upon, please do so. So Kuala Lumpur is where it's going to take place. Now, I looked at the logistics, and Angie, you are the logistics person there, I believe. How can we bring it together? I'm looking at a virtual platform, but I'm also looking at members submitting before the AGM artworks, which I then curate on a virtual platform. However, I'm also looking at creating maybe 30 banners, and banner printing is quite cheap in Kuala Lumpur, isn't it? Angie, how much would a banner be?
When you say banners, would they be like in plastic kind of the
I would look
standard?
at stands
Yeah.
of stands.
Yeah, I think relatively cheap.
It's about 75 ringgit, am I correct? Because in Singapore it's about 25.
We do have a parent who is into into banner printing, so maybe we can talk to them or ask for a cheaper kind of a rate.
Absolutely. And what I
Yeah.
intend to do, because in a hotel, but what I want to do is like a mini exhibition with explanations, whereby people can actually, rather than going virtually online, but also seeing. So I would, together with Paul and with Reka, select artworks that would actually present information on why the art is important, how the art can benefit, and what are the voices of the people with Down syndrome? How can it become a form of self-advocacy, not even starting in adulthood, but from very young? I have.
Sorry to interrupt, Esther. It's a good time for me to just throw this statistic in there. So, we mentioned before about 20 countries being involved. We're knocking on to near 30 countries, because I see you said a small exhibition of 30 artworks. There's a number of countries which weren't on the list. For example, in this meeting alone, you've got Indonesia, you've got Taiwan, and a few others. So it's a very healthy list which is expanding. So it may be that we end up with, when you say 30 artworks, that we end up with maybe near 30 countries and one piece per country. So I'm sure that Brenda can give you the full unadulterated, uncut list sort of afterwards. But Abby from Taiwan joined recently. Very good organization over there, and we've got a few others. But for working on the slipstream of what you just said there, I think that with the countries that are involved at the moment, we could be delivering something fantastic here.
Absolutely. And I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited about it. I just attended a conference in Hong Kong, and there was a great search for people on inclusion. It was a hot topic in a mainstream conference, in an early childhood conference. So I think without being ambitious, it could set a future agenda on the arts that is very important, because how we can communicate with each other and how we can also lead people to understand when a child makes the first scribbles, or even later, that is an important part of starting to communicate. It is not about the beautiful artworks that we often see and those with the best voices become advocates, but also the people who we may never hear. And I think that is an important part for parents as well, to see my child can speak. My child learns how to speak in a different way. My child has a story to tell to the world.
And
And
can I just say there, that's one thing I do know about is writing stories of life, because that's pretty much my sort of my day job. And in on a similar parallel, if you take a world championship boxer, they're another world championship boxer. What makes the story special is the journey that got them there. And I think that's one great thing, exactly what you just said there, which is that every individual has a story, and their artwork, irrespective of the final sort of product, whether it looks like a Vincent van Gogh or whatever, it's just the journey that led them up to that art. And that's what's great about the way you're presenting this, is that people will get to know the journeys of each of the self-advocates, and that is priceless, basically.
yeah, and Paul, I did a little bit of background about you as well. So I saw you've been writing about prisoners. And up to today, people with Down syndrome are imprisoned because of their comparison to mainstream language, mainstream this, mainstream that. But rather than being recognized on the unique way they see the world, and what they have taught me was love, freedom, care. And that was one thing that came out very much in my stories, the way they see the world. So I think we are on an amazing start with this. We have Taiwan included. So the amount of artworks we are looking for the virtual exhibition, I'm looking maybe at 2 to 10 artworks per country. Now, do not see this as something you must produce 10. No, 1 or 2 is already a voice. Some countries are bigger, like India is huge. And I know, Sardar Razak, when I asked you, there straight away will be a lot to come, but we have to see what is a representation, and then we curate it and we start writing the stories. So the exhibition within the hotel will then avoid having things to pin on walls and quarrels with hotel staff. But if we have loose banners, we can arrange them in such a way that people during break times can see them. We can create conversations among the advocates themselves. It is something I did in Singapore in 2016 in December. I asked all the advocates to bring something, a visual, what was important for them. So I asked all the advocates to come with a new, whatever they want, a photo of their family, a newspaper clipping, an advertisement. And I realized that some were interested in Victoria's Secret. Another was interested in race cars. Another was interested in his family. There is no way that we can, and that we actually create an exhibition. So the timeline, the way I see, is that today we have the exhibition Paul, by the way, how is your father? Is he okay?
He's due to the lovely United Kingdom healthcare system. All the doctors went on strike last week, so his heart surgery has been delayed for 3 weeks. So yeah, in the meantime, the pressure of Italy getting kicked out of the European Cup gave him a bit of a turn, but he's okay. Thank you for asking.
Okay. So we are now in July, and it means we have to act quite urgently to have this all ready. So in the coming month, I will be contacting you and I will be giving you a brief. Yeah. I also will have an individualized Zoom meeting, or not individualized, a group meeting with the people you want to have in charge. I'm also creating a Padlet with guidelines. I have a personal learning forum for people who want to sign up, but that is individually and at own cost, because I do have to feed the dog somehow at the end of the day. But I do give a personal guidance, which will be free of charge. And then we can set a time in which I can answer you with questions. I need you to submit with me questions, what you want to find out. What I want is artists to create an artwork, and I don't care what size, because you need to submit a photo of it. Yeah. I don't care either what medium. I know Japan in the 2019 exhibition had a beautiful artwork, a woven artwork of a young person, and it was delightful. It was so special to see collage. So I will highlight what medium. You can use any medium because we will digitalize it. Yeah. So I'm setting up a Google Drive for you, and you will get all the information. Then the artist submissions will have to come in by 2020, September 2024, because it will take me a lot of time to curate, and we need to get it printed for Kuala Lumpur. Printing, I think if I look at it, we need to have that ready 3 weeks beforehand. Am I right, Angie?
I guess so. I mean, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay, Angie, this is Joyce here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead,
I
Joyce.
think the printing can be quite fast. About even 2 weeks you can do it. But you need to specify like what is the size and also the resolution. I think that's the more important.
Okay.
And if there's any special paper aspect, are you going to print on what type of materials? That will depend. That will affect the cost.
Okay, could you give me with an overview, and I will contact you separately for the logistics, who can help me? If there is anybody within the AGM who is really good in creating posters, if there is someone who can, I can do it on Canva, but if somebody could help or support, that would be amazing. With digitalization, but I need to know from the printer what they can do. So I will be contacting you separately.
Okay, yeah, will do. And also, I think for you to set up the exhibition, also there will be people who are specialized in the setting up, because you want to hang up the exhibits. There will
I don't
know
want to hang
what
them.
if you have any budgets, or you want to engage specialists to
I don't
for
want
the
to hang
curated
them.
space.
I don't want to hang them. I'm looking at posters on a stand, a pull-out banner, because you avoid a lot of quarrels with hotel staff. I've done this before, and hotel staff don't like you to touch their walls. So when we have the banners on stands, a practical way is that I can even curate the exhibition differently as we get along. So I can show among interest groups, well, you don't need to do it like this. You can also set it up like this, and this if you do advocacy. So there's a lot of practicality in there. And what helps is that we can even do clusters in a workshop with the advocates. Now, these love to talk about the colors they like in life. So we can actually physically move it around during the exhibition if you have it on a stand rather than hanging up, because then it's like, okay, where, do we do that? So
Esther,
yes.
can I check? So when you're saying that what you're going to do is that all the artwork will be converted into banners, is that it?
No, we will take the 30 artworks that are most representative, and I want to make sure every country has an artwork. We now got 21 countries, right, Paul?
It's probably nearer about 26, 27, I think, in total.
Okay.
You've got Indonesia in there as well and a few others. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've counted them in here, so I have it in here. Did I put Indonesia? Oh, I didn't put Indonesia in here. That is not good.
Like I said, but Brenda can probably provide you with the balance of any others afterwards.
Yeah. So what I will need is also the email addresses of everyone. I will closely liaise with Brenda about this so that we can highlight. So I'm looking at the virtual exhibition will have much more artworks than the actual exhibition. In the actual exhibition, I may even cluster a few artworks of countries together so that we can see that there's a similar theme or they can focus on culture. But every country will have a banner. And the good thing is that the countries can then bring their banner back to their own organization as a kind of a stimulus, maybe as a souvenir. But I'm so happy to hear that you have a parent who got these kind of things. These are logistics that are very important. And then the banners will give the physical evidence. So, and it becomes then one collective voice of Asia Pacific, a diverse voice. But diversity is about hearing different voices. And that is what people often don't see. They want everybody to respond the same, but our world is very boring if we have all the same. The art workshops during the conference then will also encourage good practices. So we are looking, I think, Paul, for me to give some workshop and everything. Right now, I can say I'm fully available for you with this project throughout. And the logistics, but the basic logistics is that you as organizations will get members involved. And remember, it's not about the best. It is about the contribution of your country, of the advocates who have their own unique voice based on their own background, their culture, their parents, their families, their country. So these are the things that I'm looking for. And I will share with all of you then a link of the online exhibition. So here is the timeline, and here we go back. And I am perhaps looking at these questions. And the question, what is important to you, was the question I used during my PhD. The persons I worked with, I never focused on make something beautiful. I focused on what is important to you. What do you like? So what do I like? I can make it, what do you like? Or what do you like to tell me about yourself. See, advocacy is being heard. So having a chronicle, and we hear from 20 odd countries from people, what is important to you? How powerful would that be? So if you have any other themes that you think would good for a chronicle, for a potential theme, do let me know. Is there anybody else who likes to have a specific theme?
I think this more or less covers most of it. But I think it's the way they view everything around them. So if you take my daughter, the only thing that's important to her is the beach. So these are important things. How do you view nature? For them, they're closest to nature. What is that they love most is being there in the moment. Like she loves living now. So if it's food, they are very excited. All our children just love food. So you can, Esther. Yeah.
So Rekha, you just highlighted the most important part there is. Why can't a beach not be important? The beach is part of living, food. And if we could ask anybody, and that's what we want to hear, people with Down syndrome go to the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
They see nature. They are there. So what is then what we need to see in our organizations, and the way I did my art lessons, is to listen to each person individually and talk about scent, talk about how it feels. What is it? When we do that, you become a self-advocate. Don't you agree, Erika?
Absolutely. And I think they are absolutely people who are drama kings and queens. So everything for them is exaggerated because they love being in the limelight. Our children, they just love being in the limelight. You saw that at your Enable program, where I was watching these self-advocates, all of them wanting you to see their art. And I think that's what I want you to be with them, listening to them. See, it's not that all the time in an Asian community, we talk for them. We are expressing their emotions without allowing them to emote. So I thought of this very seriously when I look at India as a large platform, where every time it is a parent talking and giving a voice to, even if the person is verbal to some extent, they translate it. So they don't give the person the chance to become who he is. And I saw that with you, and that I've held that very closely for years, thinking, let me see when is the right time. And we had to break the shackles of this armchair, whatever it is, bigwigs sitting and discussing politics, which to me left out the self-advocates, which Paul and I have been discussing for years, that the people who we are actually taking forward are not being seen. And I want you to see them, hear them.
Absolutely. And you know that my PhD time was the best time of my life. I have laughed so loud. I peed in my pants because of the fun I had. And it was not laughing at them, it was laughing with them. One of my most favorite sayings was always there. I had two guys who were quarreling with each other all the time. So I told them, you quarrel, you get old very fast. Look at me, I'm only 25. And they would laugh and laugh and laugh because they knew I'm an old woman. And then they would say, Esther, don't quarrel with your husband, you get old. And, we laugh and laugh together. And I also want to see that happiness that people bring forward. And recently, I did with MediaCorp in Singapore murals, and I invited persons with disabilities to make art with their senior management. And we translated them into murals. And it was really interesting because I told them, how can your boss be angry with you if this art is on the wall? Because it is just nice, it's funny, it is, you know, they give a new perspective. So there's also an economic factor in there. If we don't look at the best, but at the ones that are co-created together, anything. So this is something very exciting. I am looking forward to. So I will be making a free live session available, for people, because you have to know where to start. And we will get on a time, and even if I have to do 2 or 3 sessions, that is fine with me, because I want this project to work. It is my life project, what I've done, so I feel very strong about it. It's and how we will do. And then remember, October, November is where you have to submit the photos, preferably by October. So in August, we will have support. And in July, I will send out a questionnaire to all of you. I will work with Brenda on doing a Google Drive, what your current art practices are. I need to know what is happening, so that I get to know you as an organization better. That is, to me, very important. And that's it. It's an exciting program.
It's fantastic, Esther. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think everyone will probably join me in sort of giving a virtual round of applause on that. If you're able to share the PowerPoint with the group, so whether maybe Brenda, you can sort of share it out, and then it sounds like you're going to be doing follow-ups with everyone, which is great, and no doubt we'll be having maybe a few more Zoom meetings in advance to kind of check the status quo of where people are and if they've got any further questions as well, because today certainly helped to structure maybe people's thoughts on as to the logistics of how this will be presented in Kuala Lumpur, and the sort of assistance and brain power you bring to the table, which is obviously in abundance. So so that's it. Does anyone have any questions for Esther?
So this is Razak from Bangladesh, and I've been hearing very carefully the presentation, and thank you very much, Dr. Esther, for your wonderful presentation and coming up with this new thing, and for the Asia Pacific Down Syndrome Federation, because I really thank you, Dr. Rekha, to take this initiative for our self-advocates. And I remember the exhibition, the Deep Down Art exhibition, Esther, that was a great initiative. And I hope that in Asia Pacific Down Syndrome Federation also will have this kind of exhibition in online, so that everybody can have an access in future by time to time. So this is a start, and definitely we are really happy, and our self-advocates will be happy to participate. Thank you so much, and nice to hear you again. Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Dr. Rekha. Yeah.
Thanks, Razak. It's
Thank
good
you.
after COVID, everything that we are getting back.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Nice to see you.
So Esther,
Anybody else?
Esther will be meeting a lot of our self-advocates in Kolkata, because we have we have our international conference where we have invited the neighboring countries. I think Razak is going to be there, plus Nepal wants to be there. So as many countries and as many self-advocates, so that Esther gets a chance to see, the preliminary work that is being done by us. And then we have already sent her a lot of art so that she could, give us what we needed for printing on all our bags and conference material. And thank you for that, Esther. That was amazing. It was so heart-filling to have somebody with a vision to understand art the way you did, because she gave us the points, Paul. It was amazing. She even told us, because this is what I like about her, she'll give you the reason why this art has been this way and why this artist viewed it this way. And that is what we want to, because we can't read the minds of our own self-advocates. We take it for granted. Okay, this is art. But to understand art, we need somebody like Esther. So we take it for granted that they've drawn something, like my daughter drew the other day. She drew the beach plus sand, and there was an apple, half-eaten apple on the side. So when we asked her, what is this half-eaten apple? She says, somebody wasted food. So there is so much into it. And I saw, Esther, when this boy was drawing everything in blue, and she just said, can you tell me what this is? He said, Jesus.
Yeah.
So we don't know what they are looking at. We don't know what they're trying to say. Sometimes through color and through just, we can read them. And I think in India, we've come a long way, Esther, by asking them to just produce something which is being given to, we didn't know who to give it to. So as usual, I thought I was the authority, and I took your place for some time. But now we have Esther, who is just going to support our program. And Angie, anything you need from us to support your ongoing printing, please let us know, and we will support you right through. If you want, I will come across to Malaysia, sit with you, and get the whole thing done.
Wonderful.
Esther, can I ask you a quick favor? Could you close your shared screen down so we can see everyone's face, please?
Okay,
Fantastic.
sorry.
Thank you so
I
much.
have done
No,
it.
thank you.
Sorry. Yeah, and I will open up a Google Drive, and I think I already have that. So I put the slides on there. I'm also going to open up a Padlet for you. So the Padlet, I love working with Padlet if you are familiar with it, because I can actually easily put examples on there. For anybody who doesn't know what is a Padlet,
I didn't understand that.
a Padlet is a virtual platform, which really allows easy visuals to be uploaded so that everybody can see them at the same time. So I will share that with you as well. There is a lot we can actually do together, and that is why I actually love to work on I think the virtual world has opened new opportunities for for the people we care for so much. And that is really, let me see, and now I have my Padlet here, so I can show you. This is how I guide a particular school I'm working with. So you can see I have our questions, book resources, online sessions, why we teach art, creating a rationale, artists using squares. So this is particular teaching, but I do have also a learning side, but this is where I actually want to work on with some of the people in Asia Pacific, so I can see the process that has come along and I can follow it. So I will create something maybe for every country, one column, and they can then actually see and have questions or whatever. So we all are on a shared platform together.
All right.
So this is Padlet, but this is another consultancy which I do for autism. But so it's a different focus. Yeah. So this is it's like a free platform. So any questions?
Esther, one more thing. Is there any medium for their art production? Is there any particular material they have to use?
No.
No.
Because it will be virtual, I am okay with any materials. Can even be weaving, because from Japan I had this beautiful woven artwork. It can be collage, it can be, I remember I had from Melbourne a young boy with collage. It can be sculpture, because that is the beauty of virtual exhibitions. We can take a photo of it and display it. And then we can also tell people, but it's not about pencils, markers. It can even be a column that is drawn on the floor.
Oh, okay. That gives us a greater insight into what India can do.
Exactly, India, and what are your local artworks? There's so many opportunities.
Does pottery get included in it?
Yes, I am very happy because if that is your way to express and say, for this pot, I can feed my family, or it is important for me during Deepavali, to have the milk, the prayers. Yeah. If
they're making a lot of lamps now.
Yes. I mean, I need to speak to you for Calcutta. I would actually maybe do something because it's very close to Deepavali to maybe have something with lights, the Festival of Light.
It's closer to Dussehra, which is actually not the Festival of Lights. It's the Durga Puja. So we have only things which are carved out at that time. So everybody is drawing. Like I told you, they drew the Howrah Bridge, which depicts Kolkata. So we give them an idea. So now they are all into getting themselves. You will see the fun we are going to have. As you enjoy self-advocates, so you're going to have 150 people all on top of you. So come.
Yeah, and I remember I was in Kolkata during Durga Puja and everything there. So I know it's such a city rich, but what I also like is Kolkata is the city of Rabindranath Tagore. And I am a staunch fan of Tagore with his natural materials, with his need not to look at nature. So I'm also looking maybe at branches, at coloring, all these kind of things that are India to me is a country of colors and aesthetics. Every country has their own different way of storytelling. But so I think maybe how we can lead also into those ways of thinking,
Yes. Yeah, Paul. I'm getting more
Right,
excited.
everyone. Yeah, absolutely. Vincent van Gogh once said, "I dream of painting, then I paint my dreams." So let's paint some dreams and let's present them in December in Kuala Lumpur. We've got a lot of very positive energy here. We've got an incredible group of countries. We got Dr. Esther here, who's guiding the ship. So it's only elements of positivity here. So if anyone has any other questions, otherwise my suggestion would be that we share Dr. Esther's PowerPoint, and then if there's further questions through email that want to come through that. Otherwise, I think what we'll probably do is my suggestion would be maybe in about 6 weeks, we have another Zoom call to just touch base on the status quo of where we are, to see how people are sort of preparation-wise, etc. And that's it. Does that sound good to everybody?
Special thanks. Sorry, Esther. Yeah, I'm very happy to know that you are joining Calcutta. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, I would love to see you and your wife and everybody.
Yeah, our self-advocates also will join, inshallah. Yeah, they will come.
I love that. Paul, in the meantime, I will work with Brenda on a particular meeting for those organizations who may have art sessions or how to go about. I will be setting up, I already have set up the Drive, the Google Drive. I need emails to link them, to share. I will be sending out a questionnaire to all organizations to actually understand what you are doing right now, so that I get a picture. The preparation is well, over the years I've learned how to do that, but It is to get to know that each one of you have your own entry point. So that's the beauty of diversity when you come together, that we learn from our own diversity and say, I love the way that organization is doing. I love the way how they are doing. I like the way. So it is about contributing. So I'm not looking for one way fits all, but to each one of us to be that little part of this amazing continent and organization. So yeah.
So that sounds great, Esther. We got a great framework. Like I said, it's a lovely timeline. Structure is in place, and we will have meetings before this. It's got success written all over it, multi-country success, which makes it even more fantastic. So if everyone is happy, I'm going to conclude the meeting here. It's been an incredibly productive hour. Thank you so much for everyone taking part. Massive thank you to Esther for leading at the front here. And listen, everybody, keep being brilliant. And until the next time, enjoy the next rest of your week and the next coming weeks before we meet again.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Paul.
you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
See you
Thank
then.
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks,